The Bunker Project, podcast episode number 17. And welcome back to another episode of The Bunker Project. We're here in the Bunker Bar, getting ready to do another podcast or two. Welcome back to another episode of The Bunker Project. We're live to Hard Drive here on Robson Street at the Bunker Bar, and I'm here as usual with my co-pilot.
Co-host. Hey, co-host, blah, blah. Hey, I've only had one beer, really.
Well, it's almost like we're in a submarine here in the Bunker
And
Bar.
we're changing the name to the Bonkers Show, because I think it makes a lot more sense.
The Bunker Bar.
The Bonker Boys.
So today, Bob,
right.
You've got a whole bunch of notes here on what we're going to talk about. Why don't you fill us in on what's going on today?
Okay, well, look I just desperately looking for things to talk about on the way in. I bus in and I podcast on the way, and I was listening to Twit This Week in Tech, and I got some gems out of that show. Love the show. So they talk about privacy in email, which is an awesome one we can get started on. A really cool book about privacy. My favorite guy, John C. Dvorak. That's the reason I listen to him, because he does another podcast called Grumpy Techs, I think it's called. Hilarious. But he shines in this show because he gets, oh, hey, we got a guest coming in. Dudovichkis, our game expert, which is awesome because we are going to be talking about a game a little later in the show. Dude, thanks for turning up. Like the leather. What is your windows open? That's what they say in Thailand. Yeah.
The barn door is open.
Yeah, but in Thailand, say your window's open. And it took me months to figure that one out until I realized I had a broken zipper.
Okay, so
And
next,
I was presenting. I digress. Oh, some interesting news on Facebook. Some interesting stuff about askme.com or ask.com, actually.
Ask Jeeves formerly.
Yeah, exactly. Games, and then the new Windows Phone. So we're going to chat about that. Actually, Andrew's going to talk about it.
Topics.
He's
yes.
desperately trying to get. He was supposed to get it like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, well, before the last Bunker Project, I was at the Windows launch, in Windows Phone 7 launch.
Well, let's start the show talking about that.
And so I'm getting a Windows Phone 7. It's on the way. It was supposed to be here last week, and I'm going to Palm Springs for the rest of the week, so I won't see it until Monday.
And what are you doing in Palm Springs?
Going down for a conference, TAC Mobility conference / party.
Yeah. Piss up. And,
That's
we're going to
about
do some shows so we can write it off.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. You should podcast there.
I could. I'll bring my digital recorder.
Yeah, well, I could call you up and we could do a Skype.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Grab some girls from the... Oh, no, is your wife going there?
Yeah.
Damn. Because that would be an awesome pickup line. Dude, that's
Yeah.
a good
Dave, you
reason
want
to
to
get
join
into
me on my-
podcasting, just for that pickup line. Oh, yeah, I do a podcast. I can phone you next Wednesday. We can talk about my etchings.
All right. Somehow
Did I
think
digress? Hang on, I'm just going to take digress notes here. I'm doing show notes today, so that means that the show notes are going to be pretty nuts. So that's the first digression right there.
Okay, so the Windows Phone 7. You were watching or listening to twit.tv.
Yeah, well, I want to hear about your experience of the launch. How was it? Where was it? And what went on?
It was downtown Vancouver in Yaletown at Bar None. And a lot of drinking went on.
Nice bar?
Didn't have black beer.
So it was a loser event.
So I had red wine instead.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
Coming from the red wine crowd, we do have a representative. We have a Coca-Cola representative. We've got a black beer in a wine glass representative. We've got a other type of beer representative, and we've got a red wine beer. We got red wine in a wine glass.
Are you a regular here? He got the big.
He got the big glass.
The big glass.
Well, they can't get rid of that beer. They can't give it away because everybody just drinks black in this bar.
Usually you have to get, and we don't even have you have the big glass.
Hang on, I'm going to say that's 2 digressions right there. Excellent. So we were talking about this room, Bar None.
Yes.
Would you go there other than for an event?
Well, I used to when I was younger.
Younger? Why?
Yeah.
What happens at the bars for young people? Is it a lot of good-looking
not
girls there?
not
Good
much
place
into
to
the-
hang out for podcasters?
Not much into the club scene anymore. But
I went to an awesome club scene event. I'm going to go back.
I saw the pictures. You were
Did you?
pictures of Bob
Facebook.
on Facebook with all these models.
And I was
he's
wearing
this. He's wearing this pimped out suit, and he's got his arms out, and
Hey, it was my
he's,
DG.
He looked like Dr. Evil almost.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
It was my D&G suit. Nice. But the
Anyways.
weird thing about, D&G, the Degrassi and somebody else, I don't know, Thank you. So we have our fashion consultant / engineer in the house today. Well, the engineering this outfit is fantastic because it's 38 to 48. That's the size it fits. So it'll fit a humongous human being or a little petite Bobby. And I look awesome in it. Those models were all over me.
It looked like they were in the pictures, in the background.
Yeah. We had the photographer working a big time. No, closer, tighter. Yeah, awesome. So, and then I went nuts, and the photographer freaked out. Man, you're great to shoot. Because I just do a bunch of crazy poses.
Hey, there's a 5-megapixel camera in the Windows Phone as well.
No way.
Yeah.
And does it have a flash?
Yes.
So
and there's two models coming to TELUS anyways. There's the Optimus, LG Optimus.
That's the one that turns into a cool toy after as well?
Nope.
Oh.
And then there's the Surround.
Well, as in the surround sound?
Yeah.
That's the one you got, didn't you?
That's the one
I think that's a bad move. I think it's going to drain the batteries.
So it's got a little flip up surround sound speaker system, mobile surround, Dolby Mobile, and it's got a little kickstand at the back so you can kick it up and you can watch your YouTube videos and your movies.
I think they should have called it the boombox. You know, you wear it on your shoulder. You have a little Velcro thing. And do, hey, man, I'm in the hood. Check out my new... What is it called again?
What transformer was that? That was Soundwave.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right. Okay. Anyways,
right.
Okay, I'm going to mark that down.
So it's a good phone, and we'll get once
count.
I get the phone, we'll get more into social media and smartphones and all that kind of stuff.
Is it a dumb buy for a smartphone, or is it a smart buy for?
It's a smart buy
for a smartphone.
And I sold one today to somebody who never had a smartphone, and maybe shouldn't ever get a smartphone, but because I'm confident that it's an easy phone to use, I was happy selling it to him.
Were they kind of like from the gray generation?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Really
you should
old?
See this.
Like, well, okay, so over 40.
Yeah. Windows Mobile 6.5, even if he begged me for that phone, I never would have given it to him. I feel like I'm in an alternate reality because Windows Mobile really sucks. But this new
it has sucked up until a couple of weeks ago.
Up until now.
Yeah. And now it's cool. In fact, they got the guys in This Week in Tech. They were all over it. They said it was a great phone. It was the type of phone they'd buy for their mother. You know, and basically what their theory is what Microsoft is going after is the 80% of the market that doesn't have a smartphone. 20% of the mobile market have smartphones, and 80% don't.
I think what they did is they took a look at Windows Mobile 6.5 and previous models and did everything the opposite. Because it doesn't support multitasking, and that was their big claim to fame is we support multitasking and the iPhone doesn't. And
but that's what crashes the phone.
Exactly. So they engineered this phone so that it cannot crash and no external memory.
What happens if you drop it? Would it crash then?
It would smash.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Smash, crash.
Yeah. Okay,
all right.
Now let's move on to the next topic because we'll get back to this one later.
Oh, okay. That's a forced digression, so that doesn't count. All right, cool. What are we going to talk about next?
You got the list.
Oh, we're gonna talk my list. Okay, awesome. Let's talk about email privacy. I heard today from a well-informed source that the little statements you have at the bottom of your email. This is a private email. If it's sent to you, it's illegally blah blah blah. All that stuff doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, it won't hold up in a court of law. So if you go through a thing called discovery, if you get like sued or somebody attacks you with lawyers. There's this process called discovery, and basically means that they can go through anything, any document, any piece of information that you wrote down or used an email, and they can gather it all, and they can look at it and see if it's relevant to the case. And those little disclaimers there doesn't stop it. So
basically,
it's a waste of 7 lines. Somebody said it was a waste of 6 lines of text on your email.
Put a link to your Facebook page instead.
Yeah. Well, the whole theory is, there is no privacy. Privacy ended in 1980 when nobody realized that there was a privacy issue, or 82. The whole issue is now people have started complaining about privacy, and it's a dead issue. 10 years, it's been dead. So,
well, it's still an issue.
Well, it's trust. The whole thing is trust. That's why people got pissed off with Facebook, because they said one thing and then 2 weeks later they switched it over and really messed people up, and then they made it impossibly hard to make your Facebook account private. So you got 3 choices. One, don't use the internet for anything, but you'll still get nailed from other documentation that you create if it's written. So faxes and stuff, you can still get nailed for that. So really, in the world, you really can't write anything down because it'll get used against you. And then number 2, you use the internet and you understand that it's a completely open forum, even if it says it's private.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if you're
Well, like, I mean, if you post something on your Facebook page and you only have your friends on there and you think, oh, well, my boss is never going to see this. But if somebody else tags you in the picture and you haven't properly set up your privacy settings, they're going to see that picture too.
Well, even
or
if
if
you
somebody
do
just
set it up.
downloads the picture and then puts it up on their own Facebook page.
Yeah, but even if you do, somebody can hack in. Or the other issue is if you are getting involved with a government organization, specifically the police force, you actually have to give them all your information, all your passcodes, everything, and they go through you like with a fine-tooth phone comb. Thank you. So,
Oh, by the way, if anybody here in our studio audience wants to say anything or comment on any of this stuff,
don't. Yeah,
just put your hand up. And another thing too, the record button is actually pushed this time.
Okay, yeah, that's an issue that from our last show, and I think it was the beer. But we were doing something at the and everybody's got their hands up. Damn it! I hate when you say now. Move the mic first, and then we'll turn it on. This is a technical thing. Yeah.
I know I got here late, but did you guys already talk about what happened with the bee patches?
No, we're gonna get it. I'll put that down. Thank you, B patch.
Because I know I felt hungover the next day just from watching you guys drink. So.
All right. Hey, and
No, I didn't try it, but watching how many beers that Andrew and Bob had, definitely I felt drunk by the time I was done. So wanna know
it was
how
our
they felt.
it's our effervescent personalities.
I felt good the next day. I felt like I'd been drinking, but I didn't have that really foggy mind and you know, at work just wishing the day was over. That I was alert and ready to go.
Yeah.
And just a little tired. That's all.
Well, for me, it was my whole body exuded vitamin B. Was it B?
Yeah, actually,
B6?
people did.
And I could taste
comment.
it. I mean, it was like weird. It was like my whole and my wife said, "Man, you got vitamin breath. You brush your teeth, forget it. You got vitamin breath." And so that was a negative side effect.
Some
But
of my colleagues said I smell like a vitamin too.
Yeah, well, totally.
I don't know if because they knew I had the patch on, or if they actually.
No, you smell like a vitamin. Really, you know, and the smell. And if you don't know what that is if you ever pop something in your mouth like a vitamin, and then you forget to get a glass of water before you pop it in your mouth, and you kind of get that weird flavor, that is what we smelled like. But when I woke up, and we had massive beers, we have large beers here. They're pints, and we had 5
Big pints.
based on the bill,
Pint and a half.
and that's massive beverage for me. And you know, when you get up in the morning and you say, "Oh my God, I'm still drunk, and I am going to get." Somebody's going to kick me in the side of the head around noon, and that's it. I'm messed up for 3 days. That's what I felt like. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to get taken down by a massive hangover any minute now, all day long. I felt like any minute now it's happening. I was so nervous, and it never happened. So it was the vitamin B was suppressing it. And the other thing, too, is it really helps with the dehydration. Because for me, it was I had 1 glass of water. If I come in after a massive session of drinking, not that I do it a lot, you know, people listening to this podcast must think I am such a lush.
Well, for me,
Well, I am, but
for me, it was. It's usually just here that I actually drink, but
Me
because
too,
of the
me too,
the
absolutely.
Windows Phone party, I had an opportunity to try the patch there, and also at the TELUS rally again. So all 3 times, and I'm wearing a patch now.
Yeah.
So all 3 times.
So the thing is,
Now Bob's not wearing the patch because he wants to use this today
to see if I'm going
as
to have
a
a hangover
control.
tomorrow. Yeah.
So we got the test and the
So would
control.
you say
yeah.
you're addicted to the patch then, Andrew?
I'm bringing extra ones to Palm Springs this week. Yeah.
See, I think the problem with the patch is it's a trade-off, right? It's either I'm going to drink, have a great time, go crazy, blah, blah, blah. The problem is that I'm never going to pick up any women because I smell like vitamins, right? I'm just going to smell too healthy or something like that. So I'm not going to have a hangover, but I'm not going to have any sex. So, what's the choice? It's, and being married with kids, that's a huge issue. So,
Right.
with that, and luckily my wife doesn't listen to it. Oh, we've got a question from the engineer.
Well, I mean, enough of drinking right now. Now, back to the privacy discussion.
Yeah.
Recently, I saw a video on Facebook, and the founder, I think his name is Mark Zuckerberg, or
Yep,
Yeah.
the big Z.
Big Z, yeah, that's right. And I know there was a big discussion about privacy settings, and how he's not really going in that direction. He doesn't really care. He wants everyone to just kind of open up and give all the information.
All about sharing.
And whereas the other party was really criticizing him about that and saying that there should be a lot more going on with privacy and he should go in that direction a lot more. And so there's this big debate. And for something like Facebook, it's pretty huge. And but it's true. Every day, I mean, I join social network and like Dig or Twitter, and you share so much information. Now that there's Google profile, everyone is going to have Google profiles now, and you share everything.
Yeah, I know. It's
all your personal information is there.
Well, actually, one of the things I was going to talk about is a book called by Jeff Jarvis called Public Parts. And basically what it is somebody's finally written a book on getting your head around a public existence. And we all live in the public domain now. So anything we say on the internet, whether it's an email or some sly comment on Facebook, is available to the public.
And not only that,
and you're just going to be aware of that.
Now with Facebook Places and Foursquare and all these other
where
GPS,
you physically are is becoming available. Yeah.
So whenever you check in with Foursquare or on Facebook on your iPhone app or your Android app or BlackBerry, you're revealing your location as well.
Eric?
That's exactly the separation I would like to hear your account on, because there are two different issues here. One is your geolocation privacy, and one is what you're saying on the internet. And for some reason, I personally think it could be more dangerous, the geolocation, to be available for everyone, because we kind of accept that what we talk about on social networks or whatever could be open for anyone that wants to listen. But as we know from the real world, when someone who is interested in harming you, knowing where you are, or knowing your house location, or when you're out of it, that could be a serious problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because the geolocation is much more to do with the real world, and the text usually stays online in some way.
Yeah, you have the
well, I mean,
screen buffer.
You're talking about the big screen TV you just bought, and then your new MacBook and all these things you're tweeting about or saying on Facebook.
I'm going down to Palm Springs.
Oh yeah, going down to Palm Springs I won't be back until Monday.
Exactly, you just said that. Someone could to hear it.
Or on
and break
even
into
worse,
your apartment.
Or even worse, you're out of the house and your kids are at home or whatever. Just worst case scenario.
Oh yeah,
it's something you have to be careful about for sure.
Well, I was actually listening to a debate about actually the concept that is Foursquare actually fun? Or is it just something that people think they're supposed to do? I mean, it's. I've got one buddy that is. He's in Asia. He's flying all over the place because he's one of the top guys at Yahoo, and he tells everybody where he is. So now I'm in Changi Airport, and now I'm at this office location. He doesn't say when he's in a coffee shop, but really what he's doing is he's informing his office and all his assistants and all the people that desperately need to know where he is at that time and whether he made the meeting at that time, where he is and what's going on. So he's making notes like that. Oh, I'm in Changi Airport and I just ran into so-and-so and we're going to chat. Well, then everybody in his office says, like, oh my God, he just sat down with the competition. He's going to be chatting with the competition. We better get geared up because we're going to get a phone call in about an hour and a bunch of stuff's going to go down. I mean, if you've got turned on staff that understand this is a tool, it's an awesome tool. But guys that go around, oh, I am the mayor of this Starbucks and I'm the mayor of this place. Well, that's a little wanky. That's kind of like people going on Twitter and say, oh, I'm having ham and eggs this morning. Or now I'm having a coffee. Or I'm in the bathroom. It's like, well, who cares? If Twitter's used properly, it's like, hey, I just found an awesome website which will show you how to be more secure on Facebook. That's a good tweeter. What do you? I can never figure it out. Is it tweetery? Tweet. Thank you.
Tweet. Yeah.
Thank you.
Having said that, though, a ton of people are using the geolocation services on all these networks.
Yeah, it's society's evolving.
Go ahead.
I have a question. So about the geolocation, so everyone's putting in on their status like where they are, their hometown. Now, I guess what people want to know is, are there any serious consequences to that? Like, are we going to have like CIA on our backs? Like, if we do anything wrong, have the next day?
It's sure. It's all. Well, you know what? Interestingly enough, I did an interview with a lady that's got this awesome map, which I'm going to talk about now, actually, because if we bring it up later in the show, people will be so pissed off. But basically, what she's made a map of all the brew houses and pubs in North America. Got 3,500 on her database mapped. So you go there, and it's on MapQuest, so not that great. But she's done an awesome job. I phoned her down in California the other day and did a little interview with her.
And
but what she does...
That's already been in the feed, so a lot of our listeners may have already listened
Oh, okay,
to that.
so if you've heard it before, that's cool. But basically, what she does to make money is she is a forensic map analyst. So the police contact her and say, hey, look, we've got this case. Can you design some maps based on these statistics? And she will create, when you go to watch the CSI show and have the map and the GPS stuff happening, well, that's the person behind doing stuff like that. Not the TV part, but for the real life stuff. And I chatted with her and I said, hey, that makes a lot of sense. I guess the police are using social media and marketing to help them with their cases. And it's true. And they've just, I'm going to be phoning these guys next week, but they've just started an organization that is training the police to use social media and marketing as an investigative tool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were using geolocation and Twitter to track down miscreants from the San Francisco riot after the Giants won. So and there's actively people on Twitter, posting like, "Hey, this guy's wearing this clothes. He's got this haircut," and the police were actually joining in and actually, apprehending those guys. So
yeah, it's social policing, and it's a new phenomenon.
Big Brother's watching.
Yeah, well, it's not Big Brother. Everybody's watching, and they have instant access to people that are monitoring that information.
And basically, we are becoming big brother for one another.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Big Brother's
But
big
in that
sister.
case, it's that's not typically what I would refer to as Big Brother, because that's a good use of the technology.
It's a different
That's
style.
the whole change right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
There is no more Big Brother. The guy next to you in the street can talk about you or sell you out to the police or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, Big Brothers, that's 1984. That's old hat. This is 2012. I mean, if that... who's the guy that wrote that book, 1984?
Orwell or no?
Orwell.
Yeah.
George Orwell?
Yeah.
Was it George? No, really?
No, that was
No, 1984?
That's Brave New World.
War of the
Brave-
Worlds.
Yeah, no. Anyways, okay, show notes.
Remember
Everybody, all these people listening, duh. Come on, guys, I know that one.
Things I couldn't remember during the show.
Yeah, he did
Another
the one about the farm and where all the animals revolted. No, it's not George Orwell. Is it? Is it really a George Orwell? 1984 George Orwell?
Yeah, 1984. That's right.
Who knows? Anyways. No. George Wells, he was a producer. He was like more of a radio. Hang on, I got a note here. There's a digression going on here.
But I have one more question for you. I mean, for all of us. All the geo services, all of that stuff, all the acceptance of that privacy doesn't exist anymore. Specifically for you two, do you think it has to do with the demographics? And what I mean is, more younger people tend to accept the fact that there is no more privacy compared to us, a bit more mature, just one generation over, that still have a problem with that?
No, I in fact, what's happening is there's a
And
whole...
I'm not sure that you are a good example or you, because we are still...
I understand what you're
we
saying.
live the technology, we live that kind of life, so maybe we're not a good example, but most of the people that don't live
Oh, no, but I'm all
technology
about-
day to day, do they have...
I'm all about individual freedoms and privacy and all that as well. But I think that the reason why it's changed is because there's platforms that allow it to change. Because now there's things like Facebook that you can put your information and share it with your friends. And I think that the information going out there into the cloud everywhere else is just a side effect of that. And, that's something that maybe we haven't thought enough about, but it's happening and there's really nothing we can do about it. So I think it's like a situation where, okay, we're doing it and we kind of accept the fact that whatever we put out there is really literally out there.
Yeah, it's a fait
And
accompli.
so, you just, before you actually say something online, like they said in The Social Network, the movie, the internet is written in ink. So, use your judgment.
Actually, it's not written in ink. It's written in granite. It's never going away. And I think that's what people miss. It's written in ink. Well, ink fades and stuff. No, it's never going away. If you post something on Facebook and say, oh, I made a spelling mistake, I'm going to delete that, that's still there in the database. It doesn't disappear. Just because you delete something doesn't make it disappear. It's an
I got my
illusion.
black beard.
Hey, and here we have our special guest. Yummy, yummy, yummy. She is such a good spokesman for the black beer.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's dark. It has lots of flavor.
Yeah, we need a bit
What
more
was it?
atmosphere here.
It was
I know.
By the way,
She definitely brings
do
it
you
in.
happen to have a few candles?
I could bring some out. If you'd like a little ambiance, I'm always happy to.
Have to.
Happy to do
Have
this. Absolutely. Okay. We'll do
All
it.
right.
Gareth Red Wine wants candles. How ironic is that? Want some cheese with that as well?
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
Hey,
can't
cheese
go
is
wrong.
good.
Can't go wrong with that.
Real cheese, not the.
Cheesy cheese,
Yeah,
the Hollywood cheese.
we want the real Camembert.
Oh,
yeah,
Stilton,
Camembert.
Wensleydale. Hey, Wallace and Gromit. Here you go. That's 6 digressions. Just keeping the count here. Hey, speaking of digressions, I was watching my wife. You know how in North America you do like the 1, 2, 3, and then slash through to make 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slash to make 5.
Yeah.
In Japan, they don't do it that way. They do. They write the kanji, which has 5 strokes for 5.
Yeah.
So they do 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Now, all the people that are listening, I'm actually illustrating with my pen, so I'll make that a show note for you guys. But that's how they do it. They don't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slash. They actually write the kanji, which is the pictogram for the word 5, and it has 5 strokes. So when she's
Very
writing it down,
interesting.
she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So
Like,
does
it's
the
very cool.
pictogram for 4 have 4 strokes?
Actually, let me see.
I
1,
think
2,
after
3.
5 it changes.
No, it's got 5. The pictogram for 1 is 1, which is a slash. The pictogram for 2 is 2 slashes. And the pictogram for 3 is 3 slashes. And then 4 is 5 slashes. And then 5 is 5. So, who knows? So I guess that would... that's like a digression on a digression. That's pretty cool.
Four, like in most Asian cultures.
Yeah,
four is-
she, because it's to do with death.
Yeah.
Ichi-ni-san, like you count to 5 in Japanese. Ichi-ni-san, shi-go.
Groko,
or-
Sichi, Hachi, Ku,
Ju.
Ju.
Yeah, Ichi-ni-san, shi-go, or Ichi-ni-san, yon. Yon is actually 4 as well. So she is to do with death, yon isn't. So it's very complex. They have a word.
That was my karate coming back.
Yeah, exactly. They drill that sucker into you. Well, actually, they've got it's a very specific language. If we're going to digress, let's learn something here. And one day I'm sitting there, my wife's a translator. She said, Bob, what's the word for roll away? I said, what do you mean roll away? Well, the word roll. What's the English word that you change when it's rolling away and rolling towards? I said, well, it rolls towards. Yeah, but the word roll, change the word roll to represent rolling away, and the roll you use for rolling towards. I said, well, there isn't. It's just roll. You roll towards and you roll away. In Japan, 2 different kanjis. Am I right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have
That's too advanced. That's too advanced for me.
yes, we do have a Japanese representative who's been in Canada way too long.
Yes.
It's the black beer. It's
Yes,
the black
it's
beer.
black beer.
Okay, so back to I can't remember what we're talking about. So who cares? So yeah, you guys check out the book Jeff Jarvis, Public Arts, Public Parts, just coming out. That's all about living in a social, transparent reality, which we are. Oh, that's it. I was going to talk about. This is the first generation 17 to 19-year-olds that are just coming into the job market that have been living on Facebook and all those
Or
social
the internet, anyways.
or the internet. But basically, people talk to them and they say, "Who cares? I don't care. It's the reality. I'm just going to move on with my life. It's just the concept." Oh my God.
They've always known
She's
it.
bringing candles. I can't believe it. All right. So we can turn off these lights.
Excellent.
I don't
It's
know if
about
anybody.
time.
It's about
It's
time.
about time.
There's about some romance in this.
All right, we got candles in the
Nice.
bunker.
All right.
Oh,
So
ambiance.
beautiful. Oh, this is
Okay.
awesome.
You will. Would
I
you like
think-
me to dim these lights?
Yeah,
No, no.
because we won't get a hum
I think
from.
we're starting a new custom right about now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Actually, the lights.
It's the European influence.
causing
They're
this
so
hum in
romantic.
the-
I tell you.
Okay, well, let's get rid of them. As long as you can see your papers with these candles.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine. That's a candle going down that boom. But
Let's see what
yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah.
Let's
Dim
try.
the lights.
oh, but what about the video? Oh well.
No.
No, not all of
Oh,
them.
no,
This is
No,
excellent.
yeah, that's cool. You can turn them off. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, this is perfect.
Oh, this is wild.
Not so
Our
sure. about
eyes will
this.
adjust.
Best we can do.
No, this
You
is
guys still
perfect.
see and
Like that?
enjoy?
Oh, it's,
This is great.
I can still see my black beard barely.
Okay, fantastic.
Hey,
Okay, just to let you know, people.
Oh, boom, kaboom.
Hey,
Do it.
Yeah. So for people that
no
are
touching.
people that
No
are
touching in the dark.
yeah.
Oh, well.
All right, so we're in the dark here in the bunker,
Enjoy these
and
things.
Hey, your eyes
If
are
Eric-
adjusting. Eyes are adjusting.
if Eric gets his way, this is going to be the bunker of the
For
future.
sure.
All right, we're in the
those
dark.
crazy
We got-
Europeans.
Next time,
Hey, but you know what? I don't hear the hum anymore.
Yeah, it's those
It got rid of our hum in the audio.
extreme.
okay, so we just need a bit of incense, and that's it.
Yeah, and a
know?
bong, and maybe yeah,
What is that? That stuff? That
pot.
no, the other stuff. The what is it?
Hookah?
Yeah,
Hookah. Oh yeah, you can do that really nice
those
apple
big-
tobacco. Is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Okay, yeah.
a hookah. You know what? Have you ever tried one of those? The problem with it is the smoke is so smooth. You go. Boop, 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 boop. And you, yeah, well, I went to a classy place. This one
That
was,
kind of tobacco kills you after a few puffs. You're dead.
oh, that's what happened.
I used
Yeah,
to
we-
smoke it quite a lot. It's some of it's pretty smooth, some of it's pretty harsh. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great. They got the apple flavor, and it just
Double
blows
apple,
away North American tobacco. They just don't know what they're doing with it here. Anyways,
So did we cover the big Facebook news? Is that what it was?
well, no, there's more Facebook news. The before we get into that, the royal family was on Facebook, and minutes after it gone up, all sorts of people started joining and what do you call it in Facebook? Fanning or liking?
Yep.
But then just totally trashing the family.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Hey, what's
So,
with the
uh,
music? What's that music, man?
Ebony and Ivory.
Wow,
song.
that's we're
Living
being
in perfect
dated.
harmony.
We're totally dated. Okay, all right. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. It's
So
like,
how did they deal with it? That's my question. How
well,
did they
you
deal
know,
with the?
they haven't taken it down. They just basically letting it run, and the whole thing is the queen is getting poked like crazy. So you imagine, you know, who would poke the queen? Well, if you get a Facebook, I'm poking the queen, man. I'm poking the queen. If my
Well, that's a good conversation piece. Hey, I just poked the queen.
yeah, I poked. Hey, I would join so I could poke the queen.
All right. Well, let's all poke the queen this week.
Yeah,
And,
log in, poke the queen, and see if you
next
got any
time-
response
Yeah,
from
when I
the
get
royal. But actually, the queen is very like the royal. Maybe the royal social dude or dudette. They've been into they were the first monarchy to actually have a YouTube account, because about 2-3 years ago they had the YouTube account, and every Christmas the queen would come on TV and
Didn't
and,
Queen Elizabeth II? Didn't she have or
What?
Queen Elizabeth I? Didn't she have a YouTube account?
No, I don't think
Oh.
so. No, I don't think that was a New World account she had.
Ah, right.
It's called North America. And then they stole it back. Yeah, and so she did. She about 2 years ago she put her Christmas announcement on YouTube. It was wild because it was the first time I could show my mom. See, there is a use for the internet, and that's how I got her into the internet. See, there's the Queen talking
There
to
you
you
go.
before it was available on radio in Canada. So, anyways, so yeah, if you've got a chance this week, poke the Queen.
So Bob's actually looking at his notes by candlelight right now.
Yes. Oh, hey, I just heard ask.com may be going down, maybe crashing and burning and made into a little piece of rubble.
What happened to good old Jeeves?
Oh, well, he's long dead. But they you know, I just don't think Jeeves worked from then they changed it to Ask. And basically, people just go to Google. Everybody Googles. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
But not for answers. I think most of them go to Yahoo Answers.
Or
Well, what
Wiki
happens?
Answers.
I
about,
Do
hey-
it just straight to the wiki.
Hey, here's another little bit of a related tangent.
But for me, hang on for a second. But for me, it starts with the Google. I'll Google, and then on Google, it'll say, "Oh, I'll click on something, and it becomes an ask."
Yeah.
They answer a specific question for you. Wow.
Oh, I thought you were asking a question.
A lot of trolls.
Remember, your mic's live, guys.
I just turned it off.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's too late now.
Yeah, there's a WikiHow, which is, I guess, it's kind of like Google or Wikipedia, but it gives you, like, you can type in anything you want to ask, and it'll actually give you a pretty good answer.
Yeah, but none,
Everything, yeah.
none of
Just
like
none
Awesome.
of those platforms got any business structure.
There's also
No
Wolfram.
revenue, no what's
No.
no
Oh
nothing.
yeah, that's
None
why
of
Google
them.
will always
Yeah,
be
well,
supreme.
we talked about that. Was it last week about monetization of all these platforms?
Yeah.
Hey, you know, Google is so monetized that this Christmas, all their employees are getting a $1,000 bonus. Yeah,
Every employee,
and,
that's impressive.
and a 10% pricing raise in their salaries. Executives get a 30%, and some guy announced it from Google, and he was fired.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
My
supposed
best
to be a
friend got hired
surprise.
by Google.
It was basically do not mention this on the net because it'll go viral because anything that comes out of
Yeah.
Google suddenly becomes news.
But what about for
So
search
he got
engines?
canned for that. Ouch.
What about Wolfram Alpha? Remember that one?
What's that from
Anybody?
Wolfenstein? The game?
Wolfram Alpha.
Nope. Sorry.
It's
you
a
lost everyone.
computational database search engine. So you can ask any question, and it'll calculate it for you and give you the answer.
Really?
Really, really cool.
Wolfram? Yeah, I actually found
Wolfram.
that out. It's Wolfram.
Yeah, Wolfram.
How do you
Alpha.
spell that? WOLFROM?
WLF, yeah, RAM.
RAM, yeah.
.com.
And there's one for any kind of question. There's one specifically for math or for just numbers. So you can say, an easy one, what's the population of the world? And in like a split
Yeah.
second, it'll give you the exact number.
Yeah.
Or it
It's
can be a
awesome.
lot more specific than that. Like
It's kind of fun playing with it, actually. WolframAlpha.com. Put that in the show notes.
Yeah, I got it right there.
Perfect. You're on the ball.
Spelt right and everything.
Awesome.
And for me, I'm totally dyslexic, so that's a shocker. For me, being dyslexic, I actually use Google as a spell check. Because if I use a spell check, it's not in context. So what's the difference between through, and through? A spell check doesn't know. So what I'll do for Google, if I use the word through, I'll say through the window, and I'll put that on Google, and then Google will do a spell check based on through the window, and it'll actually figure it out. So there's an AI related to the algorithms of Google. So that's actually how I use it as a spell check device. It's brutal sometimes. And even with that, people say, my God, Bob, you're a terrible speller. Yeah, well, I probably spend 5 minutes on a 10-second note. People get it and say, oh, yeah. 5
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
of
If you
fun.
get Bob to make a brochure for you, make sure you proofread it first.
Hey, I used to work for a magazine. I wasn't allowed to touch. I wasn't allowed to enter any word. No words. No words, Bob. Nothing. You call an editor or an associate editor to type in stuff. Hi, can you put the word "the" there, please? And they do it because once I did put "the" and I spelt it wrong.
Actually, but you know what? I think
HTE. So-
when God was handing out the brains, he gave you like this genius graphical design brain and forgot to give you
The idea
spelling.
brain, but hey, man, it's just, there's only so much creativity you can cram into a brain, and I got it all.
Because Bob made a brochure for a company I used to be involved with, and the people I showed it to were like, where did you get these? These are wicked.
But what was that spelling mistake? Are you guys getting out of that litigation? I said, just kidding. So,
Not too far from the truth. But
moving, and I am going to actually have to count that as a digression. There we go. Up to 8. Nice. Nicely done.
deep digression.
You know, I think the mood in here has changed because we're sitting in a dark cavern. Royal family, we covered that one. Okay. Blekko. Blekko. Who's heard of that one? That's
Actually, that one I recognize it, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, that's using slash tags. So it would be Bunker Project / Black Beer, and that's what you would search, and it defines your searches a little better. So it's using your what's that, like a right slash? No, what's it called? What's a right slash? Huh? Yeah, well, but it's just like a slash, but the slash that leans to the right, or slash that leans to the left. There's 2 words for it, isn't there? In
Backslash and forward slash.
Thank you, /. So I think it's a /. Onwards and upwards.
Is that the end of the show notes?
No, I've got an awesome one for our games expert. We have
Oh yeah,
our
we got our
specialist
games.
in
We
here.
got our games guy. I'm gonna unmute his mic just so he's ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
here.
All right, well, can I just throw down one more show note there? Can we talk about the Facebook messages thing? That
Oh
happened yesterday?
yeah.
That's
FE.
huge.
Well, yeah, that's true. That would.
Oh,
count.
Titan.
I'm talking about Titan.
Titan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
well. It's basically the Gmail killer. Everybody say. Personally, not. But
Well,
I think eventually
I'm
it will
gonna-
be a.
I'm gonna reserve judgment until I actually play with it. But
Well,
I'm a huge Gmail advocate. I'm like
so am I.
big time Gmail. It's awesome. It does everything I want it to do. And but Facebook bringing out an act, because let's face it, their messaging really sucks. And who really?
Oh, are you
I
kidding?
don't
It
even-
sucks big
I don't
time.
even check. I check it maybe once every week or 2 weeks.
Well, the way I've got it is it automatically email. The messaging automatically emails me.
Yeah,
when
but
I've
I
got a
get
message.
annoyed by that because I get so much group messages and all that
Yeah,
kind
well,
of stuff.
I just don't bother with that stuff. But for me, I do a lot of deleting. But the thing I don't like about that
guess
is
you
you
could-
can't tag it. You can't put any signature. There's no information. I trying to get a hold of a guy, and we've been doing this like 15, 20 conversations on Facebook, and he doesn't have my email address. And because he doesn't have my email address, I never got an email from the guy, and I don't know what his phone number is. I have to wait 2 days for him to check it out and say,
I guess he doesn't
here's my
put it on.
email. Well, yeah, dude, thanks. And then
He doesn't
said,
put his phone number on Facebook.
he
I guess.
did put it on Facebook, but I just didn't think that he would have a phone number on Facebook. It's like, duh.
Well, you got to get
So-
the Android Facebook app because there's a phone.
Oh, it just jumps right up. But
you
if
just
you're
hit the-
if you're
the
on a
Facebook
big
phone button.
screen, like I got a big 24-inch screen, so finding stuff on Facebook is sometimes really. Where's my
It
cursor?
gets
is
lost
probably
in the
the
real
question.
estate.
Well, you know what? I jumped from a 17-inch screen to a 24-inch screen, and for a week and a half, I would constantly lose my cursor. Where is my cursor? I'd be moving my mouse around, and I couldn't see it. Where the hell? Oh, okay, there it is. Okay,
You just need to
just-
get one of those little flashing cursors. So,
yeah, or glasses.
so we were talking before the show about the gaming industry and how it's bigger than the movie industry.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, here, love this statistic: 360 million in one day, the biggest ever entertainment number in existence, and that was from Call of Duty Black Ops.
Black Ops, yeah.
Now I remember you.
Amazing.
I got you had to put something on your wall earlier today about like should I sell this software to get the Black Ops? What was the what did you?
Well, you know, I'm kind of a fiscal gamer. I'd like to consider myself. So I don't like to spend a lot of money on games. I like to trade in games that I don't play a lot to get other games. So I wanted to see, you know, how many of my friends would actually say, hey, trade in Halo Reach, which was like the big release about 2 months ago for Call of Duty Black Ops. And it was kind of astounding that, you know, I had 20 people respond, which is quite a big number for something I posted on my wall, considering nobody really talks to each other on Facebook that much.
Yeah.
And they were all saying Call of Duty, which was, you know, pretty amazing. Like 5.6 million copies, so $360 million made by Activision, Treyarch, and it's quite amazing, actually.
But why were people doing? Because what was really interesting, I was listening to two conversations today, and one guy's argument was like, you know, I love the storyline, I love the twist at the end, and then the other guy's like, I love it. I know I don't like that one. I like this one because I get to kill people, and I get the game, so I get to shoot my friends. So he's all onto the online experience and getting and hanging out with his buddies and having beers and miking up and dude, I just totally jammed you. And the other guy was like into the storyline and the more intellectual approach to the game and enjoying the
well, they're both
subtleties.
killing people, you know. That's,
Well, it is, but there's a storyline in one, and one is like, you know, just let's go out with the boys and have fun.
yeah, pretty much. One's like the multiplayer version where, you know, you go and you face off against, you know, 8 people or 12 people or up to, you know, I don't know what the maximum is for big team battle, but it's like a massive amount of people. And the other one is just, you know, you and yourself and going through the storyline. So, I mean,
So when you say a massive amount of people, though, just to give, because some people aren't big
I think
gamers.
it's like
here.
32 maybe would be the most.
That's a
in
huge
room.
amount. Are you kidding? That's nuts. 30
Yeah.
people. Like I'm used to like 18, 19 people, and you still get creamed.
Yeah, and usually you have to have like super huge maps, and you know it's a constant.
Yeah, lots of hidey holes. Now my question is, what do? Do you go in there with the like the shotgun and going for the close range stuff, or do you go sniper action, just take people out?
I'm not a sniper at all. I'm a crazy guy. You know, I'll,
Just run in there and get killed 7 times.
well, yeah, pretty much.
I get
I'm
the
a running
flag.
guy.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I get the flag. Oh, I'm dead.
Usually I like to be actually more of the sneaky, hidey kind of guy that'll come up behind somebody and just kill them, and they're like, "Where the hell did that come from?" Because I get a lot of satisfaction over
The
you know,
surprise factor.
The surprise factor
Yeah,
more than anything.
you've been pwned.
Yeah, well, I like to also take like C4 and I'll throw it in a room, like a couple of things of C4, and then
Just
I'll
to
wait till
make
like
sure.
3 of them, run into the room, and then I'll just explode that off right away.
Oh,
and,
sweet.
so it's kind of the thing that kind of makes them,
Was that is that the game that if you unlock the end of the game, it's a zombies attacking? Is that the one?
Well, maybe we should throw a spoiler.
Yeah, throw a spoiler
alert
in there. Yeah,
here.
the hell with the listeners.
But yeah, it is. That's the one where you end up playing as the president fighting against zombies at the end of the game.
Cool.
So,
That's the twist.
that's the
that
twist.
everybody loves.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I apologize if you haven't played the game. I said spoiler
It's a big
alert.
motivator. I think it would be a motivator
But
for
play a
people.
JFK or Fidel Castro or
Who's the better killer?
who's the better killer?
What are you talking about? It's me, man. Well, JFK, he's really good with that C4, and Fidel, he's much better with an AK-47.
They all play the same. They're just player models. But
I know. I'm just-
And the nice thing about
But if
this
I was
one-
writing an artificial intelligence for a game, and you had political figures, I would like if you decided to be Fidel Castro, you would be kick-ass with an AK-47 because that's a Russian implement, and he obviously got more time on it. And JFK probably much better with something like So,
You
know,
mean killer cigars in Castro?
and the killer could know. Then you being Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I
in
just,
I'm coming back
speaking
for
of,
the cigar.
Yeah, but do we have the numbers how much
Speaking
it
of
costs
cigars.
to produce such a game?
I'm assuming.
Apart from the success that everybody likes a success story, but now
I think about
The-
half. I would say about half.
150.
One at least 150 to 170 to produce that game. Yeah.
Wow.
But I would say that half of it,
Is marketing.
is
probably.
marketing for me.
Oh, absolutely.
But still,
Hype
the
and
bottom
market.
line is
Bottom line.
150.
Probably about 150, maybe more. It could be more.
So
it
it's
really
just
depends
on a movie scale. Right about now, it's the same.
It's about the same depending on they call
Except
it-
that people, when you go to a movie, you're paying $10, $12 or
You're
whatever.
paying $60
You're
for
paying
that.
$60.
No, but the hours that you get out of it.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
The
much-
movie is
and-
what,
and-
2 hours?
No,
you
I'm just
get
saying.
20 hours
I'm just saying
yes.
that that's why the revenue on games is so high.
And it's a totally different
Uh,
experience. I mean, you're immersed in the video game. I mean, you go to a horror movie, and then you get the immersion thing. It's like, oh, holy crap, that freaked me out. Well, that happens in games. I'll be playing a game. What was it? Halo. And there was a couple of things. I just jumped right out of my seat a couple
No,
times. Holy cow,
that
it
is
got
an
me.
excellent point because I think specifically for horror movies, the game industry brings them down because in the games you can have an actual horror atmosphere. You can actually jump up, but in games it's much harder to create a comedy or a story or so on. But you can
Oh,
create
yeah.
atmosphere
Yeah.
that will jump you up.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Comedy is definitely probably one of the hardest things to create in games.
Yeah, you never get even the slapstick doesn't work that much because it's like everybody's into the death thing. It's too serious.
Well,
I mean,
there
know.
are some games that have definitely produced a comedy aspect, but nobody's ever focused primarily on this is a funny game and you're supposed to do funny things.
Yeah.
I mean, as games change as an art form, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, you might start seeing more games like that. There's like some definite games that push those boundaries, but you won't find them on Xbox or PS3. You'll find them in Flash sites.
Or Steam
Yeah.
or whatever.
Hey, let's talk about Flash. I am a huge fan of Flash games because when I'm waiting between calls and people get back to me in emails, I'll put up now. What's the big one? The KON starts with conjugation or something like that. No, that sounds like a good name,
It's
isn't
like
it?
KONAG.
Yeah, they've got an awesome library, and a lot of them are cross-promoted. Like you'll go to one, but it's actually sitting in another domain or whatever.
Yeah, these are portal systems, so that just helps get their game out there.
But
the marketing
amazing,
aspect.
there are some amazing concept games out there and really stretch the bounds. And these guys are talking about a very, it's like 1, 2, 3 megabyte games, maybe an 8 megabyte game, right? They're downloading and playing this Flash driven or whatever. Like you talk about these things like Black Ops, they're gigabytes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have?
1.6 gigabytes.
Yeah, you have 1.6 gigabytes available on your computer and this much processing power and blah, blah, blah. And okay, so it's amazing, but it's all the graphics. And you go to these tiny games and they're like 8 megabytes. It's amazing what you get
Yeah.
out of
Yeah,
it.
you think
Some of the games
think
are
you're
awesome.
being cheated or something.
Yeah. Oh, we got our bartender.
Our
in here.
salubrious bartenderess.
So have we covered all our notes that we were going to
How are we doing for time?
We're at the end of the show.
Okay, well, I think that's a good
So,
wrap. We'll do that as a wrap.
All right. So thanks for listening to this episode of the Bunker Project. Anybody
the
have any
special.
final thoughts before we close off the show?
I'm gonna pwn you, Bob, when we go play some Black Ops.
Oh, what?
And Andrew, I'll challenge you.
I'm going to get you down.
Oh, man.
Oh, Eric wants to go too. All right.
All right.
All
Gotta
right.
start
Yeah,
with
we'll have a
Bunker
LAN
Project,
party.
the
LAN
game
party.
is-
LAN party.
The game is on.
totally do that.
The game
Bunker
is
Project
on.
style.
Thanks for listening, and call us on our voicemail feedback line if you have any questions and you can't make it to the meetup here.
And don't forget to register because you will be invited to our new private Bunker Project. We'll do a Bunker Project game. Anybody can join the
Hey,
Bunker
you know,
Project
like
game.
how Leo Laporte has Net at Night?
No, I didn't have netting at night. This is for fishing
Net at
or
Night.
something?
He's got a show called Net at Night. We're the bunker in the dark.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, definitely it feels bunker-esque. I mean, really, 4
Bunker
candles.
in the dark. All right,
weird.
that's it. 1-877-636. What's the number again?
I haven't the foggiest idea.
1-877-636-1474.
Go to our .com, man.
Call
call us and leave a message, and we'll get it on the show.
Absolutely.
And,
Oh, and next week we got some awesome things about the beer from Australia.
oh, yes. Big news on that. And we're going to talk about Groupon and
That's
a few
it,
other things. All right.
All right,
See you
ciao,
next
man.
time.